You know, I have coached so many people, mentored a lot of people that were so stuck because they set a goal, they didn't reach the goal. You know, thousands of people through my journey that I've had conversations with, that were clients, people that were friends. And you ready for this? Even in my own life. In my own life, when I look back at the amount of goals that I didn't reach, it's discouraging. I'm like, wow, I was so fired up about that goal. Why didn't I reach it? And what really inspired me to do this is yesterday I was doing a one-on-one with somebody. And it was our initial session. And the biggest frustration that they had was that they kept missing their goals. They could not reach their financial goals, their business goals, their sales goals. In fact, in particular, this particular person was having a hard time doing their prospecting because it just seemed like every day they would say, okay, I'm going to make 20 calls, and then things would come up, and this was like a pattern in their life. And that's the thing you got to be aware of, my friends, is patterns and habits. So it's all about self-awareness. It's all about evaluating yourself and then being brutally honest and saying, you know, what are my habits and patterns in my life when it comes to money, when it comes to business, when it comes to sales, when it comes to follow-up? Do you have good follow-up habits? Do you have good prospecting habits? Do you have good habits when it comes to your eating, when it comes to your time, when it comes to your money? Everything comes back to habits and process. But let me go deeper with you for a minute and tell you, in my opinion, from my experience in my own life and then in the people that I have mentored, trained, and coached. 5 reasons people don't reach their goals. Okay? Number 1 reason, in my opinion, is we have a lack of accountability. In other words, for some people, there's only about 1% of society that's truly self-motivated, that truly has the discipline to do what they say they're going to do when it comes to, like, maybe exercising for 20 minutes, eating a salad instead of, a cheeseburger, saving rather than spending. There's just a lack of accountability. So for most people to succeed, they actually need a very strong accountability structure, like a real, true accountability structure. Somebody who follows up, looks you in the eye and says, did you do X, Y, Z? Well, you said you were going to do this in the next 30 days, and 30 days from now, who's going to look at you and say, okay, this was your goals over the last 30 days. Let's look at, and then ask why. And not let you off the hook. Not to condemn or embarrass or beat you up, but why? You got to have somebody who's tough in your life, who pushes you, somebody who keeps you accountable, somebody who looks at you and says, I don't get it. You had plenty of time to do this. You just didn't execute. Let's go deep and find out why. Okay? So obviously that goes without saying, guys, and you're probably sitting there thinking, well, how do I? Well, first starts with self-accountability. And I'm going to lead to that in point number 2. But you got to find somebody who will hold your feet to the fire and not let you off the hook, who's not going to be easy on you, who's not going to be, that your accountability partner is not your encourager. Your accountability partner is somebody who is purposely tough on you. This could be a spouse, this could be a friend. I mean, I don't always recommend it to be a spouse because, although it could be healthy, but could be your best friend, it could be a boss, could be an employee, it could be somebody you hire. Okay? All right, number 2, the second reason people don't reach their goals is because they don't have a system and process for rewards and consequences. Now, let me tell you, of all the mentorship and training and coaching that I have done for people one-on-one, for businesses and their sales teams and their employees, you know what I have found, especially for entrepreneurs out there, because entrepreneurs don't have a boss, and if they don't make the calls, nobody's going to fire them except themselves. You're going to fire yourself because you're not going to get paid. But, here's the deal. Whether it comes to your body, your health, whether it comes to your goals, it comes to your sales, comes to your prospecting, comes to your money, whatever it is, you've got to establish some rewards and consequences. I was working with somebody that was having me train them in sales last week. And I said, okay, here, I want to know what your goals are going to be this week. And they gave them to me. And then my next question, I knew they weren't anticipating, because I said, now, I want you to tell me, if you don't reach these sales goals, if you don't make these calls, and you don't do these follow-ups, what are going to be your consequences? And the person was like shocked. They didn't even know. I said, see, that's the deciding difference between the Olympic athlete and the guy that's just out there, pretending. This is the difference between the professional and the amateur. This is the difference between the doer and the slacker. This is the difference between the wealthy and the broke. So you got to hold yourself to a high standard if you're going to have high level success. All the greats, whether it's an athlete, an actor, a musician, an investor, an Olympic athlete, whatever it might be, all of them held themselves to a high standard. And they literally gave themselves consequences if they didn't do their drills, their workouts, their practice. And so I said, okay, so here's where the breakthrough is going to happen for you, is when you actually follow through and make yourself experience these consequences. Now, the ultimate consequence, you're going to be out of business. The ultimate consequence, you're going to be broke. You're not going to have money. You're not going to be able to live the life you want to live. Your business is going to, that's the ultimate consequence. I want to know the consequence you're going to feel Friday, when Friday comes and you set a goal to make 100 calls and you only made 80. Most people, you know what they do? Most people let themselves off the hook. And they say, hey, at least I got an 80. If I didn't have to take my kid to soccer, I wasn't planning on that. And, the computer crashed. And see, we make this, what did I say earlier? Habits, patterns. You have this pattern in your life. I know, I was the worst, of making excuses, letting yourself off the hook. So what are your consequences? And so I said, okay, so if you don't make your sales calls, you have to write your ex-husband a letter saying the top 10 things that you like about him. Buddy, she made her sales calls. But also rewards. Reward yourself and say, you know what, maybe you're going to go buy a dress. Maybe you're going to go and have your favorite pizza. Maybe you're going to say, okay, you know what, if this month I do my sales calls, I'm going to go to Miami Beach for 2 nights. I'm going to go on a 3-day cruise. I'm going to go away to the mountains for a day. It's all about rewards and consequences. Stop. Everybody stop. Listen, we have a habit of listening to this stuff, liking it and saying, dang, that was good, sharing it on your social media, which you should, and then not doing it. The power is in the doing. You've got to do it today. Determine your rewards and consequences, all right? Number 3, third reason we don't reach our goals is because, quite frankly, we are not committed. See, one action is better than 1,000 good intentions. The moment we're interested in something, we're done. You can't be interested. You have to be committed. Do or die. Not going to bed. Going back a little bit to rewards and consequences. Caleb and I had this thing where when we didn't hit our sales goals, we slept on the floor. No blanket, no pillow. Sleep on the floor. Okay? That's commitment. When you say, okay, I am going to write this book this week. By Sunday night at 7 p.m., my book will be completely 100% complete. Done. Okay? That, my friends, is commitment. So what do? You make a decision. It's all about you working fast and saying, I'm going after my goals. You go after your goals the way you would swim out to save your drowning kid. If your kid fell off the boat in the middle of the ocean with no life jacket, you wouldn't just continue to sit there and drink your margarita and read your book and be like, I'll get to it later, would you? No. You would go and you would take action. And That's how you have to believe. Meaning, no longer can you have a belief that cheating is okay. I remember one time I had a business partner, and I love him to this day for it. I had set a goal and I didn't reach it. And I was kidding with him. I was like, I didn't get it this week. I'll get it this week. He goes, well, where else is this happening in your life? And he just kept pushing. Where else are you cheating, man? Because if you're going to cheat yourself, who else are you going to cheat? And I was like, dude, that's some good stuff. And I thanked him for it. You got to watch my other video about successful partnerships later. The fourth reason why we don't reach our goals is because we don't have a consistent daily process. You know, you've heard it. If you want to eat an elephant, you do it one bite at a time. You take your big goals, you break them down into daily actions, daily steps. What are your daily steps that you must take in order for you to reach your goals? What are they? And whatever that is, slow down, my friends, and establish a daily process. And last but not least, probably most important, get yourself a mentor or a coach. Because a lot of you, it just simply comes down to a lack of training, a lack of skill, and a lack of knowledge. And so you stay stuck. And if you could save yourself years of frustration, hundreds of thousands of dollars, illness, sickness, and disease, you can save yourself failures by getting the right coach and mentor in your life. And that's what I am for you. I do these YouTube videos because I am your mentor. I mentor you for free here. But if you really want to go deep and you really want to break through, hire me one-on-one or have me come talk to your team. Let me come in and sit down and talk to your staff and your team, whether it's your sports team, your sales team, your employees, and let me do some mentoring and some training, because I guarantee you, my friends, that's where the breakthrough is going to happen. Sometimes you got to pay, because if you don't pay, you won't pay attention. So if that's you, just simply click the link in this description on my YouTube channel and fill out the form, and I would be honored to mentor you and train you, because I guarantee you one thing's going to happen. You will get results. Love you guys. Have an awesome day. Share this video, subscribe to it, and thank you for your time. I believe in you.